the sun and the moon together. You can predict when tidal energy will flow in 100 years from now. It's totally predictable. It's very good firm energy. What this is saying is that solar and tidal and wind are absolutely the places to invest because they're coming in as cost competitive. Just look at wind energy for a minute. When you crunch the potentials of wind energy in America, 48 states have 286 times more energy than needed. If you add in Alaska, add in offshore, you've got 354% more energy than needed. And if every house was twice as efficient, which you can do tomorrow morning, and every factory was twice as efficient, we've got 7 times more energy than is needed for the entire US grid, using wind energy alone. Solar energy used to cost $500 a watt in 1972. It's now down to $4 a watt, $3.50 a watt with real everything put together. This is a straightforward PV panel which I borrowed from Real Goods, just down. They got a booth in here. If you just 100 miles by 100 miles of Nevada will give you enough electricity for the entire US grid. The big thing that's less sexy is energy efficiency. Solar may be costing, with the rebates and stuff, around 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Well, energy efficiency only costs 3 cents a kilowatt hour. To change your fridge for the most efficient variety, to put in efficient light bulbs, to sort of retrofit your house for efficiency will be way cheaper. You'll need to put less solar energy on the roof, because the future is the carbon neutral, zero energy home. The numbers are on our side in terms of clean, renewable energy. I've got a dialogue I'm starting with Richard Heinberg, because he's basically he's the guy who wrote The Party Is Over. He's becoming, against his better nature, a Cassandra to say, look, there's no way out of this. When we take away fossil fuels, everything's going to collapse. I'm saying no, with a carefully developed strategy. When you add every energy efficiency potential, every single car, house, appliance could be twice as efficient today, could be 4 times as efficient in 20 years' time. When you change our city transport patterns to neighborhood electric vehicles using this surplus energy, when we shift to solar energy, think what happens when we get to a mass market for solar energy. The early computers were the size of this room, and they cost $1 million. Now they're the size of a book, and they cost $1,000. Exactly the same dynamics will happen for solar energy. The Apollo Alliance has gotten together and seized all of the initiatives around clean energy and energy efficiency and put them together in one program called the Apollo Alliance. Arianna Huffington's speaking about it tomorrow. It's the one thing you need to support, because that one program gives you the whole work. It gives you solar, it gives you wind, it gives you efficiency, it gives you biodiesel, it gives you fuel-efficient vehicles, it gives you carbon dioxide reduction in the one name called the New Apollo Alliance.
We are called upon to take America in a new direction. A direction away from unilateralism and preemption, a direction which causes us to rejoin the aspirations of people all over the world for peace, a direction that, at this moment, we need to insist on, and that is that the United States end the occupation of Iraq to bring the UN in and get the US out. Now people, when I say that, people say, well, what are you going to do? We're in there. We're in, and since we're in, we have to finish the job.
No, we don't.
I hear that. And so, what I've done is this. I've said that we have an obligation. We have an obligation to change the course that this country has taken, because if it was wrong to go in, it's wrong to stay in. And let's, for the sake of brevity and history, recount some facts. That Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, with Al-Qaeda's role in 9/11, with the anthrax attack on the country, had no intention or ability to attack this country, did not have weapons of mass destruction, was not trying to buy uranium from the Niger, and in fact, Iraq even tried to avert the war. This administration prosecuted a war that did not have to be fought, and we are there based on lies. We have to take a new resolution to the United Nations, which will indicate our willingness to reconnect with the world community. And that new resolution will have these principles. Number one, that the U.S. must give up any attempt to control the oil of Iraq. It must turn over to the UN the control of the oil with no privatization whatsoever. That's number one. Number two, that the United States must turn over to the United Nations all of the contracting ability in Iraq. No more Halliburton sweetheart deals. No more war profiteering. No big contracts going to those who contribute to the administration. Number three, that the United States must turn over to the UN the cause of developing governance in Iraq so that the people of Iraq can have self-determination. We can't have a puppet government set up for the convenience of the United States or any other nation to assure generations, hence, of peace. And here's what I intend to do as president. Upon taking office, I will meet with the leaders of the world to take steps to work together to confirm the tenets of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, and we will lead the way to get rid of and abolish nuclear weapons. We must do that. I intend to, on behalf of the United States, sign a series of concrete initiatives which will cause the United States to let the world know that we're ready. And that will be the following. As President, I will sign the Biological Weapons Convention, the Chemical Weapons Convention, the Small Arms Treaty, the Landmine Treaty, the International Criminal Court Agreement, the Kyoto Climate Change Treaty. It is time for America to rejoin the world! So what would that world look like? It would be a world where sustainability is a watchword. It would be a world where we work to create new environmental technologies that take us on a path towards renewability. It would be a world where we get rid of non-renewable energy sources, where we transition out of oil, where we transition out of nuclear, where we transition out of coal, where we create sustainable and renewable energy technologies, where we work to incentivize solar and hydrogen and biomass and geothermal and wind and all of those energy technologies that can help save the planet, because it's our responsibility to save this planet. I will further pledge to you that we will work to preserve our oceans, that we will make sure that aquatic life is protected, that we will stop the Navy from doing their tests that is destroying our aquatic life. I pledge to you that we understand how the environment has been attacked by trade agreements that do not in any way provide for environmental quality protection, that the side agreements that were made at NAFTA are not worth the paper they're written on, that the WTO has no right to be in charge of our environment, that those of you who we marched together in Seattle, marched together in a cause of sustainability, marched together in a cause for clean air and clean water, marched together in a cause for a planet we can protect, and as the next President of the United States, I will take a measure and a step in that direction, because my first act in office will be to cancel NAFTA and the WTO. As President of the United States, I intend to lead this country forward in a manner that respects human potential, in a manner that respects human freedom, in a manner that respects the rights of people to be free in their persons from search and seizure. We will repeal that Patriot Act. We will stand for the right of privacy. We will protect Roe v. Wade. We will make sure, and we will make sure that we keep the government out of intruding into people's private lives. And when people who happen to be the same sex want to be married, the government must defend and protect that right. This must become a country where people are free to be who they are and who they want to be, and where the power of each person gets a chance to unfold in the beauty of his or her own life without government interfering, and with government helping to create circumstances where people can grow to be who they want to be.